Let's take you back to one of our lead stories. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live on Channels Television from Lagos. It's about the Tunisia blast that happened yesterday on the presidential guard, killing 12 people. This week alone, there's been lots of blasts in Africa. To help us understand the spate of violence that is happening sort of like across North Africa, let's bring in our Temitope Olodo. He's a preventive terrorism expert. He joins me now on telephone. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Network Africa. We have seen a series of seemingly random attacks this week in Africa. Are you concerned, should I say, by the Tunisia terror attack on the presidential guard?
Yes, I am. I'm quite concerned because this is the third attack in a year. We should remember that there was an attack on the hotel, but not just the hotel alone, attack on the museum. And this is the third attack on a very secured group of individuals. And I think this is an issue of concern, and that's the reason why they called a curfew in order to be able to fetch out the people responsible for this attack.
Well, so how vulnerable is Tunisia to these attacks, seeing the suicide bomber was able to infiltrate a high-profile target in the capital, Tunis?
Most countries are vulnerable to attacks on crowded places. And I think this is the reason why there is need for more collaboration in sharing intelligence to ensure that every state has the appropriate infrastructure or security infrastructure to prevent and to disrupt these individuals from even getting very close to causing this kind of havoc.
And the Tunisian government has followed many terrorist attacks in the past few weeks. Are there reasons why the intel for this attack went off their radar?
I think that most countries like Tunisia are all, trying to get as much intelligence as they could from different sources. This, of course, we don't know yet if the Islamic State is going to claim responsibility for this, but there is other groups also that are living in the mountain beach that are actually also attacking Tunisia. So we need to keep the door open to be able to understand exactly who is responsible for this and find a solution to it.
You do know that Tunisia has indeed been an example of democratic change since its 2011 uprising, and to a very large extent has been able to keep its country, its people together. Would you say that something is amiss here with these continuous attacks that we're seeing in the past few weeks and months in Tunisia?
Yeah, I think it's a great worry for lovers of democracy, considering that in 2011 they actually led the revolution and they had a free and fair election to prove that it is possible not only to have a revolution, but also to have a free election. And I think the good people of this world will be working with the Tunisian government to get rid of this menace, which is causing the people of that nation and the world in general a lot of concern, especially all these jihadist movements that are going around causing havoc in countries around the world.
And thank you so much, Temitope Olodo, a preventive terrorism expert speaking to us there from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective on that incident. Thank you. Now, a UN peacekeeper has died in Mali after a landmine was detonated. The peacekeeping mission convoy was traveling west of the town of Timbuktu on the road to Gundam, killing a civilian member of the mission. The incident underlines a persistent insecurity in the country 4 days after Islamist militants attacked a luxury hotel in the capital, Bamako. Meanwhile, Germany is ready to send up to 650 soldiers to Mali to bolster the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the West African country, and also to help France in the region. German Defense Minister and Parliament will soon approve a mandate of up to 650 soldiers, while adding that the country plans to increase the number of soldiers training Kurdish Peshmerga forces in Iraq to up to 150 from just 100. China is set to announce new aid to African nations when President Xi Jinping visits Zimbabwe and South Africa next month. The trip is likely to boost China's relations with Africa, which supplies oil and raw materials such as copper and uranium to the world's second largest economy. China is Africa's largest trading partner, and the trade volume between them amounted to $220 billion in 2014. Xiang Ming, one of China's vice foreign ministers, said President Xi will provide further details in his keynote speech on December the 4th. Xi is scheduled to meet Zimbabwe's 91-year-old President Robert Mugabe on December 1st and 2nd. He will also meet South Africa's President Jacob Zuma on December 2nd and the 3rd, and also to co-chair a two-day summit between China and the African countries in Johannesburg after the meeting.